Good afternoon, Knicks Nation. Sorry for my lateness. I had to check on my mom's real quick and make sure she was all right. She was just in the hospital recently, and she's good. So I had to check on her, and then I came over here to you, and I hope you all are well and enjoying your weekend. Welcome, Miss Nancy Stevenson, Yuri, Art, Eddie Kerr, Ron Cohen, Knicks fan for life, Eddie Kerrigan, the original, Bernadette Lumley, Miss Lumley, Andrew Abraham, Ronald Wright, superstar, my brother, Bustino, Kabar Dobbins. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you're all enjoying your weekend. I hope that you're healthy. Tony Tibbins, Organic Fanatic, Jay Supreme, Two Shots Pronto. We just saw each other. Lee Thomas, Bill from McCormick, Senior Beef, John Pettit, Prezi the Boss. I hope Tony Tippins, did I say hello? Tony Tippins, what's up? I hope everybody, again, is safe and healthy and enjoying your weekend. Yes, so lots to talk about today. Lots to talk about. And you know what? We still got 2 more weeks. Today is the 14th. We got about 2 more weeks until it's time for the season to start. And we're all excited. Obviously, our heroes are about to take the court again. We're in good shape. The Knicks are stacked more than I've ever remembered them being this stacked. The Knicks are stacked right now. The best Knicks team that I have ever seen was the one that won the 2 championships. And this team is deeper, in my view, than that team. This team is deeper than that team. So we really, the Knicks are in a great position. And I was just talking to Two Shots Pronto. We were just talking about Mike Brown. Mike Brown has coached a lot of basketball in the NBA, but he has never coached a team with this much talent. And that includes the teams that he had with LeBron. LeBron was the obvious superstar on his Cleveland teams, but he didn't have the supporting cast like the Knicks do. When he was in Sacramento, he really had, and I gotta find his brother's name, but he did not have the depth that the Knicks have, and he did not have the talent on the defensive side of the ball that the Knicks have. He did not have the talent on the defensive side of the ball that the Knicks have right now. The best defensive player he had Keon Ellis. That's who I was trying to remember. 2 shots. Keon Ellis. He had Keon Ellis, and at one point they had Davion Mitchell. But what's up, Akawan Banya? I got the pictures of you in the new fam down there. It looked like you look like you doing good, man. I'm glad to see everything was going good, brother. Looking forward to talking to you and her next week. Praise the Most High. Okay, and Pick New York. Glad to see you. Keon Ellis, right. So they had Keon Ellis and they had Davion Mitchell, but they shipped Davion Mitchell out because they have terrible management. The Kings management, you can't talk about the Knicks. The Kings management is bad. They've made some terrible moves. Terrible moves. So Mike Brown never had the defensive talent that he's got now. He had offensive talent. Okay, Fox, Sabonis. He had offensive talent on that team. DeRozan, he had offensive talent. So and that's why they became one of the top offensive teams in the league. He had teams like Cleveland that were upper 5, top 5 defensively. Okay, that was Cleveland. But young LeBron, and he has some good defensive players on that team. But this team has talent on both sides of the ball. This team is deep. Yes, look, the OKC series in the championship series against Indiana, if I'm not mistaken, it went 7 games. Right? That wasn't no OKC sweep, gentleman's sweep. It went 7 games, right? That OKC series against the Pacers, it went 7 games. And so even though I felt like OKC was the better team and they ended up winning, and I don't think it would have mattered if Halliburton didn't get hurt. I don't think so. But They were the better team, but it went 7 games. And the Knicks are better this year than the Pacers were last year. The Knicks are better this year. So the Knicks, look, I still think OKC is the class of the league. But listen, the Knicks could beat anybody. That's what I'm saying. The Knicks are capable of beating anybody. And one of the things you need is depth. If you're going to go all the way in this era in which we live, you need depth. And OKC and Indiana proved that last year. Both of them went 10 deep, solid 10 deep, both of them. And they did what they did, right? It used to be prior to this era, teams was running 8 guys and winning chips with 8 guys. But then came OKC and Indiana and Boston, and teams started running 9 and 10 guys and winning championships. And now the Don, and look, when you go on my channel, right, there's a disclaimer. Y'all see, some people act like they can't read, but we could take care of that problem quick. Y'all know third rail comes up quick when you don't know how to read. But in the disclaimer, we talk about Tibbs, which I still have his name there. We talk about Deuce, which somebody caught the wrath on that this week, some dumbass. And then we talk about Mitch Rob, right? You can't talk, don't come on my channel talking about Mitch Rob. You can't do it, right? So you know that's third rail territory. You come in here popping off like that, you a dumbass and you deserve to get what a dumbass gets, right? I should add the Don to that. Although there's very few people that now are complaining. When I first started calling that man the Don, in his first full season, I was calling him the Don. There's people saying, well, you shouldn't call him the Don. He ain't doing anything yet. We don't know. See, there's some dumbasses that don't know talent when they're looking at it. And then they come on in the bandwagon after it's already established. But there's some people that can see it before it happens because we've seen it before. When I saw the Don, I saw shades of guys from Boston, guys from San Antonio, guys from Miami. I seen them making those chess moves. And I was like, oh, shoot, we got something in New York. And then combining that with the attitude of one Mr. Dolan, where he was backing up off basketball decisions. So now you got an expert running the ship, and you got your owner backing up off running the decisions so your expert could do his thing. And that, from year one, I'm calling him the Don, right? Y'all, some of y'all could bear witness. And I think now, the Don is something else, man. Look, I wanted us to get either OG Anunoby or Mikal Bridges. I always was saying for years, some of y'all know, we need these. If we can get one of these cats, we can go to the next level. Remember, I was telling y'all, this fool went and got both of them. He went and got both of them. Then, okay, we need some depth. He goes and gets Jordan Clarkson on the vet men. He gets Malcolm Brogdon on a non-guaranteed deal. That is, you got to prove your stink behind can stay healthy before we give you some money. And he went and gets Yabusele on 2 years, $11 million. He gets Yabusele to take a discount. Yabusele took a discount so that they can have extra room. Man, Shamet, yep, Shamet and DeLon Wright, and the list goes on. But look. The dude know what he's doing. So now you're looking at a Knicks team that it can go 12 deep. Right? I mean, that's legit. Now, they're not going to go 12 deep, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But you're looking at a Knicks team that can legit go 12 deep. You got your starting 5. You got your next 4, which are Deuce, Jordan Clarkson, Yabusele, and Josh Hart. But then now you got Brogdon and Shamet. So you really could go at least 11. And I'm going to tell you something right now. We're going to talk about it today. people sleeping on Diawara. I've been telling y'all, this boy is the one going to get the rookie deal. I told y'all in Summer League, the boy is ready defensively for the NBA. I was just talking to Two Shots about this. When you get a dude that can come and play NBA level defense as a rookie, you got something. And you remember there was a cat from Virginia. You remember the dude, and I liked him for the Knicks. The Knicks didn't get him. Phoenix got it was, and I liked Iguodala for the second round, and I liked that boy for the second round. Ryan Dunn. I wanted to get one of those two dudes because they could play NBA level defense. Now, generally, when you get a guy that's coming out of college and he can play NBA level defense, he normally cannot shoot. That's generally what you're going to get. You're going to get a guy that can guard anybody, but generally can't shoot on the NBA level. Okay. And that was Ryan Dunn and Iguodala. Okay. That's both of them. But Diawara, he's not going to be able to shoot this year because, again, a guy needs time to get used to the NBA speed on the shooting, on the offensive level. The NBA speed is something real. It is a thing you got to deal with. And so it takes time to get used to the NBA speed. Most rookies go through it. That's why I don't dismiss rookies that can't shoot right away, like some of y'all was dismissing Deuce in his rookie year. And I told y'all when he gets used to the NBA speed, he's going to kill y'all. I'm telling you, see? But this is Diawara. He can shoot. Diawara can shoot. But what makes it difficult, what makes it special, to get a guy that can play NBA level, and I'm talking about not just good defense, I'm talking about NBA level good defense, which Diawara can. And I was telling my man this, look, y'all remember a guy named on the Knicks, Kevin Knox? You remember Kevin Knox? If you remember Kevin Knox under Fizz Goggles, Kevin Knox was lost on defense for 3 years. Why? Why was he lost on defense for 3 years? The NBA speed confuses people on the defensive end. It's just, I want to say the last season and a half that Julius Randle learned how to play NBA level defense on the defensive end because of the speed of the game. It's hard for them to see what's going on. You could even know what play they're getting ready to call, and you could still get lost defensively because the game is moving so fast. So if you get a player, in this case it's Mohamad Diawara, that can guard legitimately, he could guard 4 positions on the NBA floor. 7-foot wingspan, 6'9", between 6'9" and 6'10", can guard NBA level 1 through 4. You got something. And he can shoot. He's not going to be able to show it this year. I doubt if he shows it this year. But he's got a high IQ. He passes the ball well, and he plays NBA level defense. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if this boy, I don't know whose minutes he taking. I don't know. But don't sleep on Mohamad Diawara. I'm going to just tell you that right now. The Don done did it again. Him and Walt Perrin are out of control, man. Look, how you going to pick a dude 51 and get something like that? Yeah, right, Coach. I was a motherfucker, Ben Simmons. Look, we did a video, and what did I call it? Pre-camp comic relief. Didn't I say that? Pre-camp comic relief. You got, and listen, the next time what Stephen Bondi says something, you need to take that with 2 big grains of salt. Yeah? You need to take that with 2 big grains of salt. I'm trying to tell you, when a fool shows you who he is, you need to believe that. Okay, believe that. He might come up with something true one time, but then he's gonna come up with some BS when it's clickbait season. Him, Mark Stein, and a few others, they do that. Okay. Oh, Shams was only wrong once. That was on Malik Beasley. That was it. Can you tell me another time, Andrew? Because I can't remember. Shams is only wrong once. He did mess up on Malik Beasley. Okay, he did mess up on it. But okay, so I give you that. But aside from that, Shams is on point. You could make a mistake. People make mistakes. But I'm talking about guys that consistently, I'm not talking about 1 year, 1 month, year after year. I can almost tell you what articles they're going to write because they do the same articles every year. Okay. Bondi, Winbag, Brian Winbag, Stephen A. Stupid. They do the same things every year. Stein, they do the same things every year. Every year, they got to write something for their boss. Berman, we just call him Blockbuster, right? Blockbuster Berman, because we're looking for the next blockbuster. I mean, you could make the blockbuster and the fool would still be looking for another blockbuster. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain dudes that write the same crap every year. It's just a new date. It's like instead of 24, it's 2025. It's the same crap they wrote in 2024. Okay. But Sham's usually on point. So when Sham reporting something, it's usually tight. So, Yuri, thanks for the $5. The Knicks are going to beat this up. Yep. Hey, I told y'all, I ain't even thinking about no damn Cleveland. I ain't worried about no damn Cleveland. I'm more concerned with Detroit and Orlando than Cleveland. I'm more concerned with Detroit and Orlando than Cleveland this year. And a slight Milwaukee nod. I'll give Milwaukee too, because I think people sleeping on Miles Turner a little bit. I think people sleeping on him a little bit. And the leprechaun in them. Yeah, you can't sleep on the leprechaun in them either. So, there's going to be some tough teams in the East. It ain't going to be no cakewalk, y'all. But I ain't worried about no damn Cleveland. I ain't worried about no damn Boston. And for sure, I ain't worried about no damn Philadelphia. Shoot. So, ATL is going to be tough. I ain't front. Y'all ain't front. Y'all ain't lie yet. No, the leprechaun in them going to be tough. I ain't front. The leprechaun in them going to be tough. And you know why, too? Aside from they got the talent, they got a damn good coach in Quinn Snyder. He's a damn good coach, man. Quinn Snyder's a damn good coach. Yeah. What's up, Lloyd? Yeah. So Quinn Snyder's a really good coach. Don't sleep on the mad scientist. He looked like a crazy man, but he know what he doing on the sideline, man. So, yeah, there's that too. And I'm telling you, one thing about the leprechaun, the little fool don't play no defense, right? Okay, we give you that. He don't play no damn defense, but you don't want the ball in his hand. And all he needs is a 3 to beat you. The boy got gonads hanging, baby. You know what I'm saying? He got gonads hanging. He got the tested too, So, yeah. So you can't, you can't sleep on the Pistons. Cade Cunningham is that dude. And let me tell you something else. Jaden Ivey going to come with a chip on his shoulder this year. For real. I don't know. I wouldn't sleep on the leprechaun in the clutch. See, during the course of the regular season, yeah. But when it comes playoff time, there's certain players, man. Reggie Miller was like that. Reggie Miller, if you looked at Reggie Miller during the course of an NBA season, he might average 13, 15 points a game. Really. That's about what he do. But when it comes to the playoffs, that number goes up to like 25, 35, 40. Some players are just built for the NBA playoffs, man. Some players are. The leprechaun is like that. Okay, he is. Don't get that full close game in the playoffs. He's going to be rough, man. That's where you come with a Deuce McBride. See? That's where you come with a Deuce McBride. Speaking of Deuce McBride, first, well, let me back up. Let's speak of the bar. I don't know why. I must be a glutton for punishment. I must be, because I look at X, and I really shouldn't be paying X any mind. I very rarely write anything on X because I don't want to embarrass myself by getting involved with idiots. But I do look at it. And so I've been seeing such craziness on X. People drawing up pictures of Brogdon in the second unit and getting, what the hell y'all? First off, let me explain. Brogdon's a third string point guard. I know some of y'all think this is the 6th man of the year dude from Boston. It's not. This is not the rookie of the year. He's a long way from that. This is a dude that if you play him more than 10 minutes a game, he guaranteed is going to get hurt. Guarantee he's going to get hurt. Okay. So he's going to play 10 minutes a game. I'm going to tell you, 10 minutes a game, and he'll be very effective. He really is. Some fool's going to be like, well, we need to give him more minutes. No, not with him. You take that 10 minutes and let him do his thing and get him out. Okay? He's going to be a third-string point guard. And yes, some fool came on, Deuce is not a point guard. Blah, 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 blah. And of course, I did not answer that fool. I just hit the delete button from my channel and wished him the best. Look, Jalen Brunson had trouble last year, and tell me if I'm wrong now, with full court pressure. Right? Am I lying about that? Did not Jalen Brunson during the Detroit series, during the Boston series, during the Indiana series, had problems handling the basketball under full court pressure? Okay? You had guys like Beasley on his tail, full court. You had Aaron Nesmith, full court. Derek White, Nembhard, they were giving him a hard time. And look, Jalen Brunson's Sar Thompson, yes, assist to turnover ratio is 3-1. 3-1. That's his assist to turnover ratio. 3-1. That's really good. I mean, that's really good, right? Especially when you consider the type of pressure he's getting, high level, pressure in the playoffs. What is Deuce's assist to turnover ratio when he goes to help out, which he does, in full court pressure? You know what his assist to turnover ratio is? 4.5 to 1. That's almost 5-1. So you're talking about a guy that is 5-1 ratio. Yeah, 4.5 to 1. That's it. So I just rounded up 5-1. Just like Brunson is 2.9 to 1. So I just say 3, right? 3-1. So how is that not a point guard? That's what I want to know. How is that not a point guard? And when he gets in the game, he handles the full court pressure and he sets up the offense. How is that not a point guard? I don't understand. And this is the thing. The thing that kills me the most about it, I'm going to tell you. Since he was drafted, okay, he's been placed in the game as a point guard. Now, when he's in the game with Jalen Brunson, he becomes a 2 guard. And we've seen that. But when he's in the game without Brunson, he's the point guard. And it's not like we're theorizing. This is what he has actually played. He has played the position of point guard. So to say he can't play point guard or he's not a point guard, that's like looking at Giannis Antetokounmpo and saying he really can't play basketball. Right? That sounds stupid, right? Why do we know? Because he's got defensive player of the year, MVPs, championship, and you're telling me he can't play basketball? Well, Deuce has got almost a 5-1 assist to turnover ratio, lockdown defense, 50% shooting from the field, 40% from 3, and he's not a point guard. Okay. So you see why I just dismiss such idiocy after that. Yeah, right. So anyway, that's why I dismiss it. And now he's 25 years old. I'm going to tell you, you're going to see better Deuce McBride this year than you ever seen. You're going to see better Deuce McBride this year. And let me tell you, now, I think I was talking from Summer League. Some of you remember that I can see Kolek getting traded. Do you remember I said that? And people was like, stop talking about Kolek being traded. He's going to be the 3rd guard. He's going to be depth. Did I say that? Did I say that? Well, what are we looking at now? The Knicks need to make a trade. Well, and I heard some fool talking about Malcolm Diawara. Look, let me read what Ian Begley, this is what Ian Begley said, not Hebrew. Landry Shamet, this is from Ian Begley. Landry Shamet, who agreed to terms to re-sign with the Knicks on Thursday, will also get strong consideration for a roster spot. If the Knicks want to keep both Brogdon and Shamet, they will have to trade one of their own players to create the roster spot. Trading either Malcolm Diawara or Miles McBride would clear enough cap space to sign both Shamet and Brogdon. There are other combinations of players that could trade to create the space to add both veterans. But those two are being mentioned because it would be a more direct path for the Knicks to take if they wanted to keep both vets. Then he said the Knicks can also trade Tyler Kolek and have enough space under the second apron to sign both Brogdon and Shamet. Then later in the article, he says, so the plan heading into camp is for the Knicks to sign Mohamad Diawara to the rookie deal. Oh, I don't think I've ever heard that before. I don't think I said anything about that. I'd be surprised, Begley goes on, if the Knicks made a move like that ahead of training camp. I'd assume that they let things play out in training camp preseason before making decisions on final roster spot. It's also worth pointing out that they have always held McBride in high regard and haven't been receptive to any past trades involving the now 25-year-old. So every year somebody says, oh, I heard Deuce is on the trading block. I heard that the Knicks are trading him to whatever. Every year. 3 years ago, Deuce was going to lose his minute because the Knicks brought back Alec Burks. I don't know if you remember that. That's 3 years ago. They didn't. He didn't. Okay. 2 years ago, he was going to lose his spot to Tyler Kolek. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy, right? But that's what people were saying. Tyler Kolek, the Knicks are drafting him. Deuce is the odd man out. And his minutes are going to be cut because Tyler Kolek is going to come in and back up Brunson. Well, not exactly. This year is 33-year-old ass, broke ass, dead on Anthony Ambulance ass, Brogdon. All of a sudden, Deuce is now the odd man out because of Brogdon. Deuce, 25 years old. I'm like, when is it going to stop? This is the example of people calling themselves Knicks fans and hating their own players. Self-haters. Self-haters. Like in certain circles where I dwell, people that are self-haters, there's a nickname. We call them coons. Self-haters. People that are haters of their own kind. We call them coons. And so there are some self-haters among Knicks Nation that hate their own players. Hate their own players. Every player looks better than theirs. I would hate to be that person's wife or girlfriend. Oh, my God. Terrible. Yeah, so with respect to Dadiet, he's 20 years old. He's a full 6'8". He's already shown he could shoot. His defense got better this summer. And he's still not fully developed yet. They're going to trade him for what? To get Brogdon? Are you out of your freaking mind? Anyway. Yeah, Dadiet's and Andrew Abraham, can we agree that one of the most sought after positions on every championship team is a wing? Isn't that true? Am I lying to y'all yet? One of the most sought after positions on every championship team is depth at the wing. Good wings are hard to find, and every championship team has them. You need people that can run that wing. Every championship team has it. So here you got a wing, and you're talking about trading him for an old man to make room for a 33-year-old at the. Dadiet's already learning from OG and McCall. Dadiet is getting better, and I'm expecting him and Pate to make a push for minutes next year. I'm expecting both of those guys to make a push for minutes next year. So. I don't think they trade Dadiet. I don't think they trade him. But the Knicks are all in. They're all in for the chip. And that's what's shown by them getting Brogdon and Shamet. They're all in for this chip, man. So, yeah, they're going to probably keep Dadiet and move Kolek. I think Kolek is going to play somewhere. I just don't think it's for the Knicks. And this is another thing people get confused. Because the Knicks traded Emmanuel Quickley, R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, right? They let all those guys. And then they let my man Quentin Grimes. right? So before they traded these guys, and they think that because they traded these guys, they will trade Deuce, and is a different case altogether. And if you look at it objectively with each case, you will understand why Deuce's situation is completely different than those other guys. Why do I say that? Let me explain. When Obi Toppin was drafted, he was drafted in the lottery, number 8 overall, right? He was drafted 8th overall. That was before Tom Thibodeau was hired. The Knicks were ready to move on from Julius Randle. And Bagley said the Knicks are looking for a power forward in the draft. When a guy is drafted that high, now tell me if I'm wrong, the expectation is he's going to start. Eventually, he's going to start. If not his first year, his second year, he's going to start. Yep. Am I lying yet? In the NBA, when a guy is drafted in the top 10, there's an expectation that he's going to start. Okay. Either as a rookie or in his first 2 years, certainly within his first contract, he's going to start. That's the expectation. So here's Obi Toppin, power forward, drafted 8th overall. The expectation is him starting. But then they hired, that was in the draft. Then they hired Tom Thibodeau. And that changed it. So now Julius Randle was not only staying, but Thibodeau was going to make him the workhorse, if you recall. And Thibodeau turned that boy whole career around because Julius Randle was a turnover waiting to happen before Tom Thibodeau. A turnover waiting to happen, okay? So, and no defense. That all changed under Tom Thibodeau. So now Obi, who was drafted with the expectation of getting ready to start, there was no path for him to start. There was no path. Julius Randle was there. He wasn't going to start. And then Julius Randle messed around and got all NBA twice under Tom Thibodeau. So he wasn't going to start. So what you got to do now? You got to get him somewhere where he can get at least rotation minutes regular. And that became Indiana. And he was going to start, poor Obi, he was going to start in Indiana until they signed another dude from Cameroon. Siakam. When they got Siakam, that was the end of him starting there. So now Obi, they showed a faith in him, giving him the $60 million, which is serious money. And he's really a rotation piece, an important rotation piece for the Indiana Pacers. So that is what Obi ended up. Let's talk about IQ. IQ was drafted late first round, right? And then, but he became Tibbs' grandson almost from day one as a rookie, right? He came on as Tibbs' grandson coming off the bench. And it became pretty obvious to me anyway that this was a starting level point guard in the NBA. I thought he was going to be a starting level point guard. I thought he would eventually take over in the NBA for the Knicks at point guard. But then they signed Jalen Brunson. And in signing Jalen Brunson, now IQ would never be a starting point guard for the Knicks. He was not going to do it. That was not going to happen. So now he wants to start. IQ wanted to be a starter. So he was going to get traded because he wasn't going to ever start for the Knicks. Never going to happen. Okay. So that was that. RJ Barrett is going to be a serious pro. He's already turned himself into a great player in the NBA level, but he was a few years away. OG is ready now. So that trade was going to happen because you're trading the future of RJ Barrett for the present of OG Anunoby, right? So you traded away future value for present value. That's what they did, okay? So they got present value. OG is ready now. RJ is going to be ready in a year, too. And so that's what they did. So you got rid of two problems. IQ gets to start in Toronto, and you still get RJ with his development. Obi gets a nice contract with Indiana, and he would have started, but no, you got Siakam, so he's still getting his good 20, 25 minutes a game. So everybody's happy. Deuce was drafted with the idea of being a backup point guard. He was drafted in the second round with the idea of being a backup point guard. Quentin Grimes became the starting two guard. He was drafted with the idea of taking over Evan Fournier's spot, if you all recall. And he started as a rookie before he broke his foot. Okay. So he was drafted with the idea of becoming a starter. But then they got OG, they got Josh Hart, and now they got Mikal Bridges. But once OG and Josh Hart came, he was never going to start. He was never going to start. So then they shipped him out to Detroit to give him a chance to play. And he started playing when he got to Dallas. And now, of course, he was playing a lot when he got to Philadelphia. So that's why Deuce was drafted as a backup point guard. And that's what he's been his whole career. Available, defensive demon, backup point guard, shooter, does the whole thing. So that's why you're getting him now. Deuce has never gotten proper value for what he brings to the team. So now you got him at a 3-year, $13 million deal. He plays all NBA level defense. He shoots spot up jump shots. He can set up and help Brunson break full court pressure. And you got him for $4 million a year. So why is anybody talking about trading this guy? I don't know. But yeah, so that's what we're talking about, right? That's why Deuce's situation is not IQ, it's not Obi, it's not RJ, it's not Quentin Grimes. It's different from all of those guys, okay? It's different. I can understand the expectation for Tyler Kolek, who was projected to be a lottery pick, actually, right? Y'all remember? Tyler Kolek was projected to be a top 15 pick, and then he slipped and they had him going in the 20s to Phoenix. And he ended up slipping into the second round. So the Don, always looking for value, picks him up in the second round and pays him second round contract, a big second round contract, but below what he would have got as a lottery pick. And so he gets the second round deal with the expectation he can compete for minutes. And I'm trying to tell you, it ain't been close to any competition. He ain't competing against Deuce because he ain't winning that. He ain't winning that, period. Okay. So Deuce position got strengthened in the last 2 seasons. His position got strengthened. So yeah. Malik, what's up, my man? Coach Hauser, Malik, Apaka, Knicks now, Jay Sniper. Who else I missed? I'm John Pettit. I caught you. Yeah, so that's why Deuce is not getting traded. Okay. I could see Deuce being the longest tenured Knick. I know Mitch Rob is now, but Mitch Rob is on the clock right now. And I love Mitch Rob, but he's on the clock right now. So don't get hurt this year, young man. I need to see you healthy this whole season in the playoffs. Don't get hurt this year, young man. See, so yeah, that was when he was a rookie, and then his second year, and finally, I think his third year, he started getting minutes. Yeah. No, if Mitch Rob, yeah, if Mitch Rob is hurt at the deadline, yes. And let me give y'all something else that many people ain't seen. The Knicks don't have any room to sign anybody else after they trade Kolek. That's it. They could sign Brogdon and that's it. They can't sign nobody else. So why were they working out Thomas Bryant? Did y'all notice that? And Ian Begley said they were impressed with Thomas Bryant. Why were they working out Thomas Bryant? They're stacked. Well, if Mitch Rob gets hurt before the trade deadline, again, there you go. You got a veteran 5 that can come in and play. And you, at that point, once you trade Mitchell Robinson, you only have to pay Thomas Bryant half a year's salary. Okay. So if he was to get 3 million, 3.5 million, you get 1.75. You got him right. See? So if Mitch plays good and he's there by the trade deadline, he's coming off the bench or starting or whatever, but he's still healthy and playing, this conversation is over. There's no more conversation. We're talking about if he gets hurt. And there's been a couple of seasons where Mitch got hurt in December. I don't know if you remember. There was one year he got hurt like in March. I think he broke his hand on somebody's elbow in March. Or was it when Lopez slammed him and broke his foot? One of them. But then he's getting hurt a lot in December. And he even said he seems like he's cursed in December. He gets hurt. So if he gets hurt this December, yeah, because he's an expiring contract, right? So, yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But they're working out Thomas Bryant and probably a couple of other big men. Insurance. That's all it is. It's insurance. Okay. So we'll see. I'm really rooting for Mitch Robert to stay healthy. And to me, the key for him staying healthy is limiting his minutes. That's the key. Limiting his minutes. Okay. And that's what you want to do. You don't want him playing 30 minutes a night. You want him playing 25, 20, something like that. You don't want him playing 30 minutes a night. Okay. So, if you do that, he's going to be around the whole season. That's what I see. Deuce is eligible for an extension December of this year. Because remember, December is when the deal went down for OG, for IQ, and RJ. And that same weekend, they extended Deuce. And so he's eligible for an extension this December on the anniversary of when he signed his extension a couple of years ago. Yeah, so this December they can extend it. I'm not sure they will yet, but they might. But the money's going to be a little tight, but we'll see. It's not going to cost much for him to sign an MLE and get at least. I think Deuce is worth between $8 and $10 million per season. What do y'all think? I think that's a fair price for him. I think a 4-year 40 or 4-year 32 million is a fair price for a guy coming off your bench like Deuce McBride. So I think that's a fair, and I think they can get him that number. I think he gets that. Yeah, so I think that's a fair number for him. So I think he gets either 440 or 432, something like that. It's not like you got to pay him $100 million. I think he gets in that range, and I think the Knicks could do that because next year they're going to have a little bit more money than they have this year. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It can be very interesting. Will Mitch start or come off the bench? That I don't know because I don't know what Brown is thinking. If it was Tibbs, I would guarantee you Mitchell Robinson is starting. I will guarantee you, but it's not Tibbs. And I don't know what Brown wants. I don't know what he's looking at. I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know. So Mitchell, to me, there's really only two options. I'm not counting Josh Hart. I don't think Brown's going to start Josh Hart. At least I'll be surprised if he did. I think it's either Deuce or it's Mitch. One of those two start. It's either Deuce or Mitch. Okay, so I'm not sure because Deuce would start at the 2, and you'd move OG over to the 4, and you'd move McCall to the 3, and then you'd start Cat at the 5. So Deuce would start at the 2, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I could also see Mitchell Robinson starting and Deuce coming off the bench. So I don't know. You might see both of it while he figures it out. I don't even know. We'll see how it works out. Yeah. Everybody, there's definitely debate on both sides of that, but I can't predict what Mike Brown's going to do. I don't know him that well. I knew Tibbs very well. I know Tibbs' style. I know where he's going. That's what I liked about him. I knew what to expect from Tom Thibodeau. I don't know what to expect from Mike Brown. So I don't know how he's going to do this. Okay. And I don't try to think of it as what I would want. I try to think of it as what the coach would want. So if it was Tom Thibodeau, Mitchell Robinson would start. I don't know how Mike Brown feels. So I don't know. We're going to see. OG, to me, can play either position 4 or 3. And the reason he can do it very successfully, and the reason he can, he's too strong for most 3s. He's too quick for most 4s. And when you have that combination, that makes you very difficult to guard. And he can guard everybody on the floor. We've seen OG guard everybody from the Halliburtons to Giannis's. He can guard anybody on the floor. Mitchell, OG can. So, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't mind OG at a 4 or a 3 because I feel we're not losing anything. And in fact, if you put Deuce in, your perimeter defense goes up a notch, right? Because you're going to have him, McCall, and OG. Your perimeter defense goes up a notch. So, but you still got a weakness with Cat, and of course there's Brunson. So I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see how. But that would be the lineup if Deuce started. It would be Brunson, Deuce, McCall, OG, and Cat. And then you'd have Mitchell Robinson, Yabusele, Hart, Jordan Clarkson, and either Shamet or Brogdon coming into the second unit. That's how you do it. So we'd have to see how that worked out. I don't know. But either way, listen, either way, the Knicks are good. Right? So if you start Mitchell Robinson, okay, they're going to be really freaking good. If they start Deuce, they're going to be really freaking good. Either way, they're going to be really good. Either way, they're going to be really good. And I can make an argument for both sides because you can't post up Bridges as easily as you could post up Deuce. Deuce is only 6'1", 6'2". Bridges is a full 6'6" with 7-foot wingspan. Yeah, but either way, they're good, man. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't actually have a druthers with that. I don't. I'm not the one to argue which ones should start because we win basketball games either way. I do like the idea of Deuce, and the reason I do like it is because what Mitch Rob could do with the bench, and that you could use a full 5-man bench. So you got Deuce. You got Mitch Rob, Hart, Yabusele, Jordan Clarkson, and probably Shamet or Brogdon. You got a full bench unit to deal, that you can bring the whole 5 in, so, and they can beat any bench unit out there. So, yeah. So I don't know. Lloyd's brother, I think people push the idea of pace a little too heavily. Tibbs was never a big pace guy, and yet the Knicks were always a top echelon team. Pace is not as important as people think. It's just not. I think it's one of those numbers that to me are meaningless, especially if you're a team that plays good defense. Pace don't mean anything. Your pace is going to be slower if you play good defense. If you play solid defense and you're getting stops, you're not going to be needing pace. But I agree that I think Mike Brown's going to want to push the pace. I do agree with that. Mitch Rob won't hinder that. Mitch Rob ain't no Moses Malone, lug-em type of guy. Mitch Rob runs the floor very well, and he runs it like a deer. So I'm not worried about Mitch Rob slowing the pace. He won't do that. That's not an argument to not start him. Yeah, that's not an argument to not start him. But, yeah, Deuce, Yabu, Clarkson, Hart, that is a scary bench. The only problem is I don't know what Mike Brown feels about Ariel Hooporti. I have no idea. I would put Hooporti in with those who said that? Mark said Deuce, Yabu, Clarkson, Hart. I put Hooporti in there with them. But I don't know if Mike Brown, in fact, I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he will. But I would. I think Hooporti would do very well with that, or I'd have those 4 in there with Cat, and then bring Ariel Hooporti off the bench for Cat, give him a breather. Yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll see. This is going to be. Yeah, I don't know. Hill meets World is asking, do I think Bridges will lead the second unit? I don't know. Like I said, he could. I don't know how Brown feels about that. I don't know. Shalom Yashaya. I don't know how Brown feels about that. He could. It could be Bridges. It could be Cat. It could be OG. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But if you're talking about, I will say this though, if you're talking about Yabusele being the biggest player on the second unit, I don't know if you want to go with McCall with that, right? Right? If you're going to have Yabusele, Jordan Clarkson, Josh Hart, Deuce McBride, I don't know if you want McCall with that crew. You want a 5, right? Don't you need a 5 with that crew? I think maybe you're talking about Cat or Ariel, right? But we have to see. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know. This is going to be it's going to be as new to you as it is going to be to me. I have no idea what to expect from Mike Brown, except I know the rotation. I can tell you what the rotation is going to be, but I can't tell you the order of the rotation. That's what I don't know. Is he starting Deuce? Is he starting Mitch? I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Mark. We have good problems. What they say? What they say sound like one of them good problems, right? That's like one of them good problems. Yeah, that sounds like one of them good problems, man. It is. And yeah, and then how many combinations can you mix and match? You can play the second unit, like I said, with Cat. You can play the second unit with Mitch Rob. You can play the second unit with OG. You can play a second unit with Bridges. You can play Deuce with Brunson. You can play Deuce with Clarkson. You can play Brunson and Clarkson. No, not really. That's too weak defensively. But you can play Brunson with Deuce, Brunson with Brogdon, Deuce and Brogdon. You can play Jordan Clarkson and Brogdon. You can play Shamet with Deuce, Shamet with there's too many combinations. Shamet with Deuce, Shamet with Brunson, Shamet with Brogdon, Deuce and Shamet. You can play a whole bunch of combinations, man, especially at the guard spot. There's a lot of combos you could use. Okay, there's a lot of combos you could use. Yeah, I see 12, because you got the 11, and plus you still got, don't sleep on Ariel, or you might get Diawara. There's so many combinations. So I don't know how Brown's going to do it, but we're going to find out. Yeah, we're going to find out. I don't know how Brown's going to do it. He's got too many options. If it was me, I might start Deuce. It depends on how well I can trust Karl Anthony Towns on defense. That's what will be my question. Can I trust him on defense? If I can't trust him on defense, I'm starting Mitchell Robinson. Okay? I'm starting Mitchell Robinson. Okay? But if I can trust Karl Anthony Towns to at least be aware on defense, then I can start Deuce. To me, that's the key thing. That's really, Cat determines who starts to me. Because if I could trust Cat to pay attention and keep his head out his ass defensively, then I can put Deuce out there. If I can't, I'm gonna have to put Mitchell Robinson out there. Okay. Yeah, he lost weight. But the question is, Jay, does that help him defensively? Losing weight is great. Maybe his knee stays healthy, the whole year. I hope so. But if he's still going to be if his head's still going to be up in his ass defensively, losing weight or not, don't matter, does it? Right? I don't know. I hope it does. I hope he, that's what I'm saying. I'm not even worried about his rim protection so much because he's a big lugging dude and he can do good enough to protect the rim. Do good enough. He's not Mitchell Robinson, but he can do good enough. I'm just concerned with him getting done up defensively on the pick and rolls, like Indiana did to us last year. That's my biggest concern. Can he step back and step up on defense on a pick and roll? Can he guard a shooter? Can he step back and let Deuce or somebody get around the pick and go over the top? Can he move out the way for that and roll with the roller? That's what I want to see. Can he rotate and get back to his position? Can he do that? If he does stuff like that, I'll start Deuce. Because now I got speed out there. I got defensive tenacity on the perimeter. I got shooting out there. And with Deuce in the lineup, I got shooting out there from all 5 positions, right? So I got 5 shooters if Deuce is out there. Plus, you got Deuce, McCall, and OG on your perimeter defense. That's locked down right there. And if I can at least trust Cat to be halfway decent, we might have something. If I can't, then Mitchell Robinson is starting. Because now I got the perimeter with McCall, OG out there, and I got Mitchell Robinson out there. So, yeah. So it depends on the defense. Yeah, so we'll see. Cat, I believe you're right, Yuri Ark. If given the effort, he can. I believe he saves himself for offense. Just like did. Drew did the same thing. He would not put the effort on defense to save his energy for offense. I don't like that, but that's what he did. Cat does the same thing. He slacks a little bit defensively to save his energy for offense. Yeah. Mobb Deep is deeper, Malik. I agree. Mobb Deep is deeper. Mobb Deep is deep. And they're going to do, what is that? Who did that? Was it DMX? Was it DMX said shut him down? No, it was MOP said shut him down. They Mobb Deep and they ready to come out and shut him down. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They Mobb Deep and they ready to come out and shut him down. So Yuri Ark, there's news and there's gossip, right? Who gives a flock about the gossip? Who gives a flock? You know what I'm saying? It was Onyx. Thank you, Akil. It was Onyx. You're right. It was Onyx. You're right. It was Onyx. Shut him down. That's right. It was Onyx. That's right. Yeah. So it is what it is. This is New York, and you're going to have stories off the court so that there's clicks. That's always going to happen. It doesn't bother me that we got assholes that are supposed to be journalists that write clickbait because I don't watch it. What bothers me is when Knicks Nation buys into it. That's what bothers me. Y'all should know better. How many times you got to see Brian Windbag talk the same pile of crap before you understand that he's giving you crap? Well, Dink Pate's going to spend a year in the G League. He's not going to get any time. He's going to win a two-way contract, and he's going to spend his year in the G League. And next summer, he's going to be a problem. Next summer, he's going to be a problem. Right. Shut him down, open up, stop, drop, shut him down, open up shop. Right, that was DMX. That's right. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Onyx, though. Onyx is what Akil is right. It's Onyx I'm talking about. Shut him down, shut him down. The Mobb Deep coming off the bench to do Onyx. Shut him down. Yeah. I think what Ian Begley said, Guilford, is that they're not going to make any moves until after the camp. So they're going to see what training camp looks like before they make roster moves. So everybody's going to get a chance to show themselves in training camp. But let me just caveat that although Mr. Brogdon is injury prone, he does understand he's on a non-guaranteed deal. What does that mean? It means he's going to be pretty hungry to prove he needs guaranteed money. That's going to be a problem for Tyler Kolek. All right, 2 shots. I don't know. We'll figure it out, bro. Depends on my schedule. I'd like to get my Knicks prod in by noon-ish, 1-ish if I could, but today was a little different. Me and my man had some Peruvian chicken with some nice waitresses, didn't we? We had some Peruvian chicken with some nice waitresses. I had actually some chicken, and I had a little what they call that, pan steak, whatever. The Colombians make it. Yeah. So yeah. Enjoy for 2 shots. Tell the fam I said hi. Let me see now. Benedizione. Te benedizione tu famiglia. Te benedizione tu famiglia. Is that what? Man, te benedizione tu famiglia. Y tuyo. Trying to learn Spanish. Dios te bendiga. Yes, Dios te bendiga. Y tuyo también. Y tuyo también. Yeah. Benedición, tío. Yeah, right. I appreciate that. Hermanito. Amiguitito. Hermanito. I'm learning Spanish, man. I'm going to be among the Spaniards. So I need to learn how to speak the language. Hill meets world. This is a good question he asked. I know it's early, but do you think we will struggle against taller teams, physical teams, or quicker teams? This is the thing that most fans do not understand. Let me explain. It's an 82-game season. It's a long season. At some point, every team struggles. At some point. Since this is the league and it's not college, they don't necessarily struggle against the same things. So there might be a point in the season where they're struggling against tall teams because whatever. There might be a point in the season where they're struggling against quick teams. There might be a point in the season where they struggle against physical teams. But every time during the course of the grind, they make adjustments and they come out of their little struggle, right? So there's a continual adjustment that's continually made in the league. Teams that continually struggle against one thing, you know what happens? It's like a jungle. The other teams focus on that and they exploit it until you make an adjustment, right? So they will have struggles against different things because it's an 82-game grind. But the more talent and depth we have, the less struggles you'll see, or the less time it will take them to make an adjustment. And this is where Mike Brown, to me, will excel because y'all know he's a collaborator. So he's going to listen to his assistant coaches. They're going to look at the film. He's going to listen to them, and they'll make the appropriate adjustments. And they should not take long to do it, right? So they'll make the appropriate adjustments, and they'll make them fast. So will they struggle? They will at times. Every team will. You're going to have a couple of 2-game losing streaks, maybe even a 3-game losing streak. But they'll make the appropriate adjustments and go forward. Because a lot of times the struggle is due to fatigue. Because the grind is the grind. You might have a long road trip. You might have, somebody out for a minute. And so, so the grind is the grind, right? So they're going to have some struggles, but I don't expect the struggles to last long because of the adjustments that Mike Brown will make. And it depends on who's hurt. So if they lose Karl Anthony Towns for 4 games for a sprained ankle, or they lose Jalen Brunson for 3 games for a sore back. Those things happen, right? They're going to struggle, right? But they'll make adjustments. Okay? Yes, Leon Rose is the greatest president of basketball operations the Knicks have ever had. It's not even close to me. Leon Rose is the greatest president of basketball operations the Knicks have ever had. It's not even close. Not even close. There's been some good ones. Donnie Walsh was really good. But he was just GM. He wasn't president of a basketball operation. But as far as guys that's running the operation of basketball for New York, there's never been anybody close to Leon Rose. He is the best, period. And right now, I would dare say he's one of the best in the NBA right now. Leon Rose, one of the best in the NBA. I would put him top 5 in the NBA as far as back office, front office guys. The top 5. He's up there with Sam Presti. He's up there with Pat Riley. He's right there. He's right there. Okay, he's right there. But yeah, so that's I'm real high on the Don. Always been, still is. He's been a real revelation for the Knicks. Yeah, real revelation, man. Yeah, he should. If the Knicks win the East, there's no doubt. You need to give Coach of the Year, Executive of the Year to Leon Rose. There's just no way you don't do that. Yeah, there's just no way. I felt like he should have got it a couple of times already because everybody had the Knicks winning one year 47 games. They win 52 games. Last year they had them winning like 48 games. They won 51 games. They always had them being 6th or 5th, or they'll maybe in the play-in and they had their top 4 in the East. And he's never got the recognition for the moves that he has made, man. So, yeah, he really knows how to get value. That's the key. He gets value, man. Jack the Ripper over there in Utah, he does too, but he'll leave you there with stuff dripping out of you and no Vaseline, man. I mean, Jack the Ripper's bad, man. You don't mess with him. But yeah, Leon is good. He's really good. Really good. So yeah. Yeah, exactly, though, of course. Yes, Webb, it's because of his experience at being an agent. And not everybody benefits like that. He did. But, you get to learn front offices. You get to see the moves they make. And, of course, you get to see contracts and players. So he really has, benefited from that. And they got the Knicks are smart. Dolan got the formula from the Warriors. The Warriors did that. That's how they got their dude. Some guys are just extremely talented at spotting talent. Jerry West is he is a prodigy. He is the, Goodwill Hunting of basketball talent. I haven't seen anybody close to Jerry West when it comes to spotting talent that nobody else sees. Pat Riley is good too, but Jerry West by far is the best. And when you see a guy like that was one of the greatest guards to ever play the game. If you ever seen Jerry West play when he was on the Lakers, oh my gosh, this guy was ridiculous, man. He was Larry Bird at the guard spot. That was Jerry West. Think of Larry Bird at the guard position. That was Jerry West. Ridiculous. Both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively. Ridiculous. That's why he deserved to be the logo. But as great as a player as Jerry West was, he was just as great at getting talent, man. So, shoot. Yeah. Worldwide West is doing what he's been hired to do, which is make moves behind the scenes. He's the one that was working behind the scenes to get Jalen Brunson here by getting Jalen Brunson's father here. See, Worldwide West is doing what he was hired to do, make moves behind the scenes quietly. He's the real, my man KOT, my man talks about Scott Perry being a ninja. But the real ninja now is Worldwide West. He's the ninja right now. Jay Ellis say Scott Perry is ninja. I ain't arguing that, but Worldwide West is the ninja right now. He's the ninja. That's right. So Deuce was scouted by Tibbs. Mitch was scouted by Perry. RJ was scouted by Perry. Grimes was scouted by Tibbs. IQ was scouted by Tibbs. So these are different guys. So Perry was involved with getting Mitch and RJ. Grimes, Deuce, and IQ was Tibbs with Worldwide West. Worldwide West was pushing for IQ. Tibbs was pushing for Grimes and Deuce. He was pushing for those guys. But Worldwide West and Tibbs wanted IQ. They both wanted IQ. I wanted Tyrese Maxey, and the Knicks could have got him. I'm still kind of hurt about that, but because you see what Tyrese Maxey's become. I thought Tyrese was the guy they should have got, especially when he dropped down into the 20s. I was like, man, this is a steal. Get this boy. I wanted him or Desmond Bane. I did not want Obi. I thought Obi was fourth on my depth chart that year. He was fourth. I wanted Halliburton. I wanted the guy that's in San Antonio out of Florida State. I forgot his name. I wanted what's the boy? He's in San Antonio. Just got a big extension. Oh, God. Out of Florida State. Devin Vassell, right. I wanted Devin Vassell first. Then I wanted Halliburton. Then there was who else? I liked the other kid out of Florida State, but I didn't want him at 8. I wanted him later. Chill Will. I wanted him later. Yeah, I wanted Devin Vassell number 1. That was my first pick that year. And then it was Halliburton. And then Obi was 4th. There was a third guy. I forgot who it was. And Obi was 4th. Obi was my 4th. He was 4th on my depth chart that year. Yeah, I liked Vassell. I wanted him bad. A wing that can play NBA level defense and shoot the ball. Yeah, I wanted him. That's why San Antonio got him. Yeah, that's what said. Tari, was Tari that year? I wanted Tari too, but I don't think Tari was that year though. I'm surprised Tari went as low as he did. I like Tari. I like Tari Eason when he was at LSU. I was surprised. He was coming off the bench. He wasn't even starting for LSU. He was coming off the bench and getting like 18 a game for LSU coming off the bench. So I still like Tari Eason. Can we get him? still like Tari Eason. Tari Eason could ball, man. Got hands like shovels. Can play both sides of the basketball. I like Tari. Yeah. I was up on Halliburton. I liked him. He was second. I had Vassell, Halliburton, and I forgot who the third guy was. And then there was, I think it was the kid that went fourth for Cleveland, Isaac Okoro. I like Isaac Okoro. It was Vassell, Halliburton, Okoro, and then Obi Toppin. That was the four. That's what I wanted for the Knicks at 8 that year. That was it. I liked Isaac Okoro coming out of Auburn. Duran came from Memphis. Duran was a 1 year, one and done at Memphis. Yeah, I was high on Halliburton. I was. I thought because I liked the way he got, and I still like the way he gets all of his teammates involved. There are guys that get their teammates involved and bring everybody's game up a level. Not everybody could do that. That was Carmelo Anthony's problem. Carmelo Anthony was one of the greatest talents we've ever had in New York, but he did not elevate everybody around him. That was the problem with Carmelo Anthony. To me, that was the problem I had with him. As an individual talent, he can do everything on a basketball court. But his teammates were never elevated when he was on the floor like that, you know. Whereas Halliburton, from when I saw him at Iowa State, he changed the game for all guys on the floor. He elevated the team when he's on the floor. He still does it when he's playing for Indiana. He still does it. So, yeah, I liked Halliburton behind Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell was my number one pick. Halliburton, Isaac Okoro, and then Obi Toppin. So I wasn't crying about them not picking, about them picking Obi because he was from New York, but I definitely was a little disturbed that they let Vassell get by them like that. Anyway, yeah, that year people was looking for the French guy, the left-handed French guy, which Detroit took. I was like, no, they need to get a point guard. Not that one, though. No, not that one. Yeah, I was very high. Bane, my number one, Killian Hayes, right. My number one pick the year we got IQ was Desmond Bane. I like Desmond Bane. Then I like Tyrese Maxey. I didn't even want IQ, honestly. He wasn't even in my radar. I like Malachi Flynn. But my number one pick was Desmond Bane. I wanted them to get Desmond Bane. I wanted them to get Maxey if they didn't get Bane. Those are the two guys I wanted in that draft. Those are the two guys I wanted. I wasn't even looking at. I heard that they were looking at IQ, but I was hoping that wouldn't happen. Yeah, Okoro was in the draft with Obi Toppin. He was drafted 4th by Cleveland. That's how I knew. When I saw Cleveland draft Isaac Okoro, I was 100% sure the Knicks were going to draft Obi Toppin. I was 100% sure because I thought Cleveland would get him out of Dayton, Ohio, right? I thought he would get him, but when they drafted, that was a surprise. 2 surprises: how high Williams went and how high Okoro went. I wasn't expecting them to go that high in the draft. And so I thought that they would both fall. I thought that Williams would fall past the Knicks, and I thought Okoro would fall to 8 at least. So he was going to be available. I was shocked when Cleveland picked him 4th. And when I saw that, I knew the Knicks were going to pick Toppin. I knew that was happening. I wasn't even holding my breath no more. I knew that was it. I was saying it from that pick. I was like, Knicks are picking Toppin. That's it. And they did. Okay. But yeah, I wanted Devin Vassell first. Well, no, Brian, it's a money thing, Andrew Abraham. We're gonna get. He's got to, it's got to chill. It's a waiting game. Got to chill. Grimy gonna get his stuff. He gonna get it. They know what they got over there. He gonna get it. He's asking for too much. He's asking for too much. I get it. He's asking for too much, and I get it. Get all the dollars you can, but he's asking for too much. He should just take that $15 million they offered him and go. 3 years, $15 million. Take $45 million, $60 million. Player option in the last year. Go with that. But that's just me. He's looking for 20, 25 million. He ain't getting that. To me, the guy that's the most talented restricted free agent is Kuminga. He should get the most of all of them. Kuminga's got the most talent, the most upside. Kuminga's got superstar talent, in my view. Kuminga's got superstar talent. So he should get the most money of all of them. He's got the biggest upside of all of them. Okay, but we'll see. I mean, he certainly is better than Josh Giddey. So Josh Giddey, what did he sign? 4 years, 100 million, something like that. Yeah, 4 years, 100 million, something like that. So Josh Giddey got over, but he set the market. So maybe, maybe Grimy can get that. Well, I don't think he will, though. But I think he should get at least 60 over 4, if not 80 Grimes. So we'll see. But Kuminga should be over 100 million. He's got the biggest upside. He's going to be a monster. He's still young. I don't think he's 22 yet. Is he? Is Kuminga 22? I don't think he is. He's going to be a monster, man. Kuminga, man, he's going to be a daggone monster. When he is really good, man. He's big. He's fast. He's athletic. He can shoot. He can do everything with a basketball. So, how old is this? Let me see this boy. How old is he, man? Because man, he can do everything with a basketball. I would not sleep on Jonathan Kuminga. How old is he? He's 22. Oh, shit, man. He's 22 years old. He's still a baby. Oh, Kuminga gonna get his money though. Somebody gonna give it to him. 22. He gonna get his money, man. If he stays healthy, and he should, by the time he's 25. Oh man, that's tantalizing talent right there. Tantalizing talent. He was born. He's gonna be 23 in October. He's gonna be 23 in October. This boy is something else. He's gonna be something else. Need to get rid of that blonde ass hair, but he's gonna be all right. Yeah, I don't know nothing about his attitude, Andrew Abraham. I don't know nothing about him. I'm just talking in terms of pure talent. Of all the restricted free agents, he's the most talented, in my view. He's got the most upside. Yeah, if he's got an attitude, then that's a whole different thing. I don't know. He's really got that talent, though. I'm very high on him. I was very high on him. I couldn't believe he didn't go higher because he was only 18 when he came out of the G League. Yeah, he's something else, man. Yeah, so I'm very high on his talent. That's what I'm saying. He's more talented than Grimes, more talented than Giddey, more talented than anybody that's restricted this year. Yeah, but I think that was a little overblown, Andrew. Duke, I think somebody overshot at Duke, tried to make him sound like he had attitude issues. He hasn't had no issues in the ATL. And he's another guy. Jalen Johnson could ball, man. That's why I'm really saying, like y'all was saying earlier, don't sleep on the leprechaun in them. Because they drafted the center. They got rid of Capel because they drafted the kid out of USC. Who's really good at the 5. They got him. And then they got Jalen Johnson at the 4. And they got some other talent too. Now, I'm not even thinking about Kristaps Porzingis. If that fool can play more than 40 games and show up for the playoffs, then they got a bargain. But I don't think, I'm not even thinking about him. I'm not Kristaps Porzingis, whatever. But you're talking about Jalen Johnson. You're talking about Okongwu, Dyson Daniels, Zachary Richaunchet, and of course there's Karis LeVert and Terrence Mann. Oh man, and they got stink behind George Niang. Oh, they got a good team, man. I mean, I ain't fronting. They got a good team. Zachary Richaunchet is the real deal, that French croissant. And then, of course, let us not sleep on the defensive pros of Dyson Daniels. And then there's Karis LeVert. They're really good. And Jalen Johnson starts at the 4. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm trying to say that boy is something else. Wait a minute. I'm looking at their depth chart. How come I don't see Jalen Johnson listed here? They got some dude named Dadiet. The hell is this? Wait a minute. What's wrong with BSP? Did they trade Jalen Johnson? I don't think so. Did they? I don't think they did. They didn't trade Jalen Johnson, right? Is he hurt? What the hell? What the hell is BSP doing here, man? Let me see. Jalen Johnson. Is he hurt? Oh, no, he's on there. They don't even list him on the depth chart. Sometimes BSPN, man. Did he have an ACL, Andrew? Is that what it was? Did he have an ACL? Because they're not even listing him. Let me see. Let me just look at this boy. Look at this thing here. Look if we get some news on this boy right here. What's the news on JJ? See what's up. Because JJ, I'm like, wait, how you doing that? Let me see. Oh, he had a shoulder injury 8 months ago. Okay. It was a season-ending shoulder injury. Okay. Season-ending shoulder injury on JJ. That's what it was. Okay. All right. So I guess we got to see how the shoulder is looking this year. So we got to see how his shoulder. Hopefully he comes back healthy. Hills meets. It's a good question to ask. Who finishes higher, the Hawks or the Magic? I'm gonna have to give the Magic the edge on that because they've been good for a while. It depends on injuries, right? So let's assume both teams are healthy. I'm going to give the Magic the edge on that because if you got a healthy Suggs, you got a healthy Wagner, both Wagners, you got a healthy, of course, Paulo. I'm going to give the edge to the Magic on that because they just got too many guns at too many positions, man. Because Franz Wagner's the deal, and now they've messed around, had the nerve to go get Desmond Bain. And then you got Anthony Black. Oh, and Anthony Black is good. So is Caleb Houston, and so is Jet Howard. Yeah, and they still got freaking Bertazzi. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with Orlando on that one. I'm gonna have to go with Orlando on that one, y'all, because shoot, they got some firepower over there, man. And yeah. Oh, is that Jawan? I didn't know that Andrew Abraham. He could ball. Jet Howard could play. So I didn't know that was Jawan's son. That's okay. I didn't even know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. They got it, man. Orlando got a team over there, man. And I think if they start Bain at the 2 guard, they're gonna have Suggs. And I don't know if Suggs is Suggs gonna be ready to play because what did he have? ACL? He had an ACL. I don't know, is he gonna be ready to play this season? If he's not ready to play, it might be a little bit more difficult for them if he's not ready to play. We have to see. We got to see what happens. But Anthony Black is good. Jet Howard is good. Jet Howard is 6'6". Anthony Black 6'7". Both of them play guard, and they play it very well. Don't forget Tristan De Silva, 6'8" at forward spot. Another really good young player. Yeah, I have to give it to Orlando. I have to give it to Orlando. Yeah. No, I don't think so, Abraham, because if they get a healthy season, they're going to finish top 4 or 5 in the East, and Orlando is not New York City. Right, so you're not going to have a whole bunch of people calling for Mosley's job if he don't get, into this Eastern Conference Finals. So I think they just need to stay healthy and be top 4 in the East, and he stays, and he should. And that's going to be a blessing for Orlando to keep the continuity of having Mosley there. And so, yeah. But I did not know that Jet was Jawan's son. Oh man, okay. All right. What's up, Henry Perez? Yeah, so yeah. We'll see. But I like Orlando to finish higher than Atlanta, but you gotta always watch out for injuries. So it depends on who stays the healthiest. Yes, very interesting. It's going to be Yuri Art. And Brendan is going to be working with Mike Brown on the defensive scheme. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Which is another reason why it's important to see how Karl Anthony Towns responds defensively. Because if you can trust him with the schemes, Deuce will start. If you can trust him with the schemes, Deuce will start. If you're not sure, you start Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, Chris Gent is the offensive side. There's another guy they hired. Who else? They hired a couple of guys on the offensive side of the ball. Chris Gent was one. There was another guy they hired on the offensive side of the ball. They handled the offensive load for the Knicks. But Chris Gent, yeah, so if Cat can be trusted on defense, that's the question. Can he be trusted? If he can. And I'm not looking for him to block 2 shots a game either. Just guard the paint. Just Don't get confused on pick and roll. You think that's what they're running, Uriar? You think Gent's going to run the Princeton offense? Ooh, that's going to be something to see. You think Gent going to run the Princeton offense? Okay. I don't know. I have no idea what to expect. I hope you're right. What's up, Carlos? Cat's going to come in shape, Hill Meets World. I believe that. I've seen the pictures of him over the summer. I think he's going to be in excellent shape for the camp. How that affects him defensively is the question. We'll see. Okay, I know he ran something like that with the Kings, Andrew. Yeah, I know he did that with the Kings. Shout out from Portugal. Carlos, where you at? Lisbon, Porto, where you at, man? Where you at in Portugal? Let me know where you at so I can come visit your house when I go over there. Me and my wife going to visit Portugal. We definitely want to visit. We're going to visit Porto. We're going to see Porto, and I'm going to definitely be sampling that Vino. I'm going to be sampling the Vino. Okay. I'm going to be sampling the Vino over there, for real. The best Vino in the world. We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. Yes, we are. You want to visit there? All right. Yeah, so... Nosotros, Tyler Kolek. Adios, 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 no Tyler. I wish Tyler the best. Listen, I would be very happy if Tyler Kolek went to the Nets and got a nice 30-point game. That would be really good. I'd like to see that, in fact. I think Tyler Kolek could be the second coming of Jeremy Lin. I really think he can. I think Tyler Kolek could be the second coming of Jeremy Lin once he learns how to shoot offensively in the NBA, which I think he could do. I think he can. Because Jeremy Lin couldn't play no damn defense either. And it was good for Jeremy Lin that he came in under Mike No D'Antoni, right? Mike No D'Antoni didn't care that Jeremy Lin couldn't play no defense. You made cow foot soup? Dang, would that be cow hoof? Cow ankle? How you gonna make cow foot? I don't know about that, Malik. How you gonna make cow foot soup? I heard a cow tail, oxtail, cow penile part. I remember that. I seen Kawhi Leonard eat that with African dude. Yeah. I ain't never heard of cow foot though. Oh, yeah. Them little tit for tat, titty tatty things between players that people like to say, I don't give a crap. Cat better come in here and play some damn defense. I don't give a crap about what he think about Jimmy Butler, honestly. Get your $53 million and play some damn defense, please. And then we'll be all right. Oh, it is the hook. Oh, really? It looks like pig feet? I don't know. I ain't messing with no swine, but it looks like swine, but it's beef, right? So I don't know. We have to see what happens. We have to see what happened with that. We have to see what happened, man. No, I've never heard of that, Guilford. Honestly, I've never heard that in my life. I never heard of no cow foot. Like I said, oxtail, yes. Oxtail, yes, definitely. Got that. But never heard of no cow's foot. Never, ever. Never heard of no cow's foot. That you got me there, bro, because I ain't never heard that. I ain't never heard. I didn't think you did, Malik. I didn't think, I didn't think you did. Nosotros tenemos que ver qué pasa. We got to see what happens. Oh, your pops is from Sierra Leone. Who was the dude that made the cow's penis into? He was not from Sierra Leone. I think he's from Cameroon. The guy used to play for Toronto and he used to play for Oklahoma City. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He come from a French speaking. He was colonized by the French. Who is that dude? and he had Kawhi Leonard eat it. And Kawhi Leonard, Serge Ibaka, right? Serge. Serge cooked the cow's private parts, man. And him and Kawhi ate it. Yeah. Nah, I don't want to start Yabusele. No. Because who you sitting to start Yabusele? Who you sitting? I'm not starting Yabusele over Mizrahi. And for damn sure, I'm not starting him over Deuce. And you think we taking OG out? Hell no. Nah, Yabusele coming off the bench. That's what they brought him here for. They did not bring Yabusele into New York to start. He is brought here as a bench piece. And he's going to play that role. And he's going to do it very well. He's going to do it very well. That's his role. He already understands that. No need to shake that boat. He is coming in. Now, if Cat gets hurt, God forbid, if Cat gets hurt, or if OG gets hurt, yes, I can see it happening. Even then, though, I think Hart would start before Yabusele, but we'll see. At Track Monkey, you all are killing me with this. I have never heard of no cowfoot soup. I had never heard of it. Yeah, no, I don't want to see Yabusele start. I want, because for number one, somebody got to be hurt, and I don't want that. Number two, they brought him in here to be off the bench, and he's going to do very well off the bench. Knicks bench going to be hellified. Yeah, Andrew, a lot of combinations. And this is good, obviously, right? But with respect to the closing lineup, it's good to keep the opponent off guard. You never know who they're going to close with, right? There's so many combinations. Your opponent doesn't know how to defend that. They're going to be focused on guarding the starting five. But the Knicks are going to have so many combinations coming off the bench in the closing lineups. Ugh. And just imagine, like, they close with the five hottest dudes. This team is going to be right, man. I can't wait. Oh, alligator is unclean to me, so I don't eat no unclean foods. I don't eat unclean foods. All amphibians is unclean. I don't eat that. Yeah. No, I don't eat alligator. And they sell it right up the street from me. They sell it right up the street. But I don't eat no alligator, man. Nah. They eat it. It's a big dish down here in Florida. They eat a lot of alligator down here. You can go in a lot of stores and buy alligator food, alligator meat down here. Yeah, they love it down here. Yeah, it's a big deal down here. Yeah, Clarkson is going to go off. The first time Clarkson drops 25 at MSG, ooh, Lord, it's going to be something else, boy. Oh, what? It's going to be off the chain. Well, that so you're talking about really 4 guards? That's too small to me. That's real small. I think that's real small. Plus, Brogdon ain't coming off the bench with them cats. Brogdon is going to be the 3rd string point guard. He's not coming off the bench with them. I'm telling you, he's not. That's what I'm saying. Some of y'all are pushing too much that you think Brogdon going to play. Brogdon playing 10 minutes a game, and that's pushing it. Oh, no, Ben Simmons, thank you. No, I would say thank you, Don, for not considering signing that fool. Unlike the reports being circular, he did turn down the Knicks. Get out of here, turn down the Knicks. That fool would take a check if he could get one. The Knicks wasn't interested in him. And then Ian Begley actually said the Knicks never made an offer to Ben Simmons. Did you see that? Did y'all see that? The Knicks never made an offer, says Ian Begley, to Ben Simmons. Okay. I wouldn't mind Ariel Hukporti getting the 5th spot, but I don't know how Mike Brown feels about that. I would not mind. I think Ariel Hukporti would do very well at the 5 in the 2nd unit. I think he would, but Have to see how Mike Brown feels. Yeah, we have to see how Mike Brown feels about that. We got to see what happens. Nosotros tenemos que ver qué pasa. Que ver qué pasa. Que ver qué pasa. Yeah, Begley came out and said they never made him an offer. So everybody else was full of crap. He ain't turned down no Knicks. Sorry ass, ain't nobody wanted him. You know, like I said, he need to go down to Australia and lose that damn Kardashian curse. Good question. I think we got 5, Andrew. He asked how many preseason games we have. I think we have 5. I want to say the Knicks have 5 preseason games because there's 2 out in the middle of nowhere, out in Abu Dhabi, some goddamn way. And then wait, hang on, let me see. They got preseason 1, 2, 5. 2 against Philly, 1 against Minnesota, Washington, and Charlotte. They play 5 preseason games. 5, yeah. 2 out there in Abu Dhabi, wherever the hell, and then at home against Minnesota, Washington, and Charlotte. They got 3 preseason games at the Garden. I read that Embiid is claiming he's going to be healthy. That's what I read. But can we believe that fool? I don't know. I don't even know. I read that he said he was going to be ready to go, that his knee's going to be all that, and he's going to be ready to go. That's what I read. I don't know. We got to see what happened. Let me look on their depth chart. Let me look at Joel Embiid has resumed. It says here, this is as of July 14th. Embiid has resumed partial basketball activities. That's July 14th. So I heard that he should be ready for camp. But if you're holding your breath to get him in Philly, like I said, I think I told you all last year, I would have traded him for whatever I could get for him a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago. I would have traded him. I would have traded him for whatever I could get from 2 years ago. Right now, I would still trade him. And if I can't trade him, I'm waving and stretching his ass. And can I get Hartenstein up in here? If I'm Philly, can I get Hartenstein up in here? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Hartenstein is certainly more available than Embiid. I think we can all agree with that. Better, I don't know, but available? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. And you put Hartenstein with Grimes and Maxey and McClain. You know, you got something now. You got something to work with. No, I don't think Ariel Hooporti is capable of playing the 4. No 4 moves at all. But he's capable of playing the 5. Yeah, Ripper time with Embiid. I ain't fronting, man. I ain't fronting. I'd have traded him 2 years ago. I ain't even fronting. I would have traded him for as many first rounders as I could get 2 years ago. You got to learn when a guy is teasing you. Ben Simmons been teasing the NBA for 4 years now. Embiid's been doing it for about 3 years now. That means they really finished, and you're hoping they got something left, so you keep bringing them back. I'd have got rid of that fool. That's the one thing that the Ripper is good at. I got to give it to him. The Ripper cuts ties as soon as he knows you done. He ain't playing with you trying to front. He ain't playing with you trying to tease. If you can't play, the Ripper will get rid of you. Okay, he ain't playing. He ain't having it. Okay, he ain't having it. And so the Ripper would have been got rid of Embiid. He been done. I ain't never heard nobody talking about trading Larry Bird. Danny Ainge wanted the Celtics to trade Larry Bird. And you know what? He was right. Bird was finished. His back was done. And by the time they had the dream team, Bird was already finished. And Ainge wanted to trade him. He was telling Red Auerbach, trade him. Oh, man. So, yeah, I'd have been traded Embiid. He'd be out of here 2 seasons ago. I'd have got 4 or 5 first rounders for him. And bye. See ya. Yeah, Ainge wanted all back to trade Bird. Around the time of the 92 Olympics, He was like, trade him now while you can get something for him. And Bird, he was right. Bird back was done. He hardly played after the Olympics. He hardly played. His back was done. You know, and Ainge knew it. He's like, yeah, trade him. And right off back thought he was crazy because it wasn't just his playing ability, of course, his legend in Boston. You know, you didn't want to trade a legend like that. But Ainge wasn't even playing. That was like prelude of things to come with Danny Ainge. Prelude of things to come. He will cut your ass quick. He don't care how much you have been faithful, how much you are loved. If he decide you finished, you gone. So if Ainge was in Philly, you would not have seen Joel Embiid there. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Oh yeah, Ainge wanted to trade Larry Bird. But just to have the balls to say that, that's the thing. He had the balls to say it. Yeah. Oh, Sam Presti is. But he's not as dirty. At least with Sam Presti, you get value, you give value. It's like get ass, bring ass. So you can get something, but you got to give up something, right? So they got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but they had to give up Paul George, right? So, okay, all right, cool. But Ainge would have tried to get Paul George, kept Paul George, and still get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Ainge is cold-blooded, man. Didn't act like he did you a favor. Yeah, Presti is just smart as hell. Very smart. Very smart. And another dude that's always playing three-dimensional chess. Everybody else is playing conventional. My man is playing three-dimensional. Presti always. And knows talent. Look, he drafted Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. That's all I'm saying. And then he got look at all the cats he got around Shai Gilgeous-Alexander now that he drafted. Yeah, he's rough, man. Sham. But see, so are the Knicks. See, only time I'm going to be really concerned about the Knicks is if Leon Rose leaves Madison Square. If Leon Rose leaves Madison Square Garden, I'm concerned. Very concerned. More than any player. Okay? More than any player. If Leon Rose leaves Madison Square Garden, I'm concerned. Very concerned. Okay? As long as we got him, and I'm gonna tell you, if Dolan paid $60 million to Phil Jackson, and you all remember Phil Jackson, he's gonna pay the Don what he wants. Yep. And so the Don will be the Don as long as he wants to be there. And I can see him being there for at least another 4 or 5 seasons. So he gonna do his thing, man. Only way the Don leaves before 4 or 5 years is if Dolan sells the team to a new group and they don't want him there. Then you got a problem. Yeah, then you got a problem. Yeah, if we had Leon during the Melo era, Melo would have been a Chicago Bull or Houston Rocket, and the Knicks would have been way better. You know, I don't know how. That's a good question, Andrew. How old is? Let me look that up. How old? Let me ask. Let's ask our friends at Google. How old is Leon Rose? 64. Damn, he's my age. He's 64 years old. He's like me. But, you know, I think I'm in pretty good shape for 64. But I don't know how Leon doing. But Leon's 64 years old. Leon look like, though, he look like he consumes a good amount of carbohydrates. That's what I would say. I say Leon consumes. I say him and Worldwide West be spending too much time down there in the village with them cars, man. I say him and West be spending too much time in the village in New York, man, catching them cars. That's all I'm saying. But he stays as long as he wants. He stays as long as he wants. Nah, I don't think so, Guilford. Melo, I'm going to tell you, Melo was not an easy player to build around. I'm telling you, he just wasn't. Melo was actually in his prime or coming into it in Denver when he came to New York, and he had a team in Denver. He had a really good team around him in Denver, playoff team. They were playoffs every year, but he could not elevate the guys around him. Say what you want about LeBron James. He can elevate everybody around him to make them play better. Everybody around LeBron James looks better with him than without him. That is not the case with Carmelo Anthony. You want to be real about Carmelo, he was a ball stopper. He held the ball. Oh, God, man. He'd hold that ball behind his head and be looking and everybody, and you know he's going to score, but damn, nobody else is touching the ball. Okay? He was a ball stopper, man. I love Carmelo. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to be real. I'm going to keep it at 100, y'all. He was a ball stopper, man. He wasn't no guy that made all 5 guys better. He just wasn't that guy. Okay? So it would have been hard. I would have traded him. I would not have given him the $124 million. If I'd have been like Ainge. I'd have said, Chicago, what you gonna give me? What you gonna give me? And I'd have built around Kristaps. I'd have built around Porzingis. Yes, I would. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I haven't even heard some stories about Melo, but I just know from watching him, he was a tremendous talent. Tremendous talent. But great scorer. The only scorer, pure scorer that I would say is better than Melo was Bernard King. And that's the truth. I got to give it to BK over Melo. When it comes to pure scorer, you want to see somebody, BK. I'm talking about as a Knick, though. I'm not talking about in history of basketball. I'm talking about as a Knick. As a Knick, the best pure scorer they ever had was Bernard King. It wasn't even like, you got to have seen BK when he was doing this thing, man. BK was a bad man. And no threes. He wasn't shooting no threes. I don't think I ever seen him shoot a 3. But that turnaround jumper from wherever he was shooting it was money. Money. Melo did have a lot of ego. I'll give you that. He did. But he really did not elevate the game of everybody around. In order to get, the smartest coach that I've seen do a player like Melo was Larry Brown with Allen Iverson. Because Allen Iverson was like that too. He wasn't elevating everybody around him. But what did Larry Brown do? He got 4 stellar defensive players around Allen Iverson. And then another guy coming off the bench as a defensive ace. And you let Iverson just ride him. And Iverson rode him to the final. Now, they didn't have enough to beat the Lakers. That nobody did. But that's the best way to get a guy that's not really a team guy you get the most out of him. And they did that. They had Eric Snow. They had Mutombo. They had really good defensive players in Philly around Allen Iverson. And that's how they did that. No. Woody didn't build the team. Woody was only there, 2 seasons? No, it's not on Woody. That's on the front office. That's the front office. Your front office is supposed to build your team. Now, they work with the coach, granted. But if you're going to have a guy, if you're going to trade, that was Dolan. He overstepped Donnie Walsh and made a deal for Melo. That was James Dolan. That was not anybody else but James Dolan. Okay, he overstepped everybody else and got Melo. Let me tell you something. If they didn't trade for Melo, you know who they would have had at their point guard in his prime? Derek Williams. They would have had him. Deron Williams. Deron Williams would have been the point guard. He'd have been in his prime at MSG. And man, with Mike D'Antoni and Deron Williams, you'd have had Linsanity for a whole season. Oh, hell yeah. But James Dolan, that year, the All-Star game was in L.A. That year. The All-Star game was in L.A. James Dolan met Carmelo Anthony for dinner and made a deal at the All-Star game, at the All-Star weekend. That's how that got done. Because Melo said he was about to go to Brooklyn. He was about to go to the Nets. James Dolan went out there and got the deal done. Gave Denver everything, right? Deron Williams in his prime was considered one of the top 3 point guards in the NBA in his prime. Now, when he went down fast now. But for about 3 seasons, good 3 seasons, he was one of the top 3 point guards in the NBA. Very, very dangerous. Deron Williams was that dude for about 3 or 4 seasons. Yes, he was. He started getting fat when he was in Brooklyn, and they gave him the big contract, and he was getting hurt a lot, and that was the end of him. But when he was in Utah, Deron Williams was the man. He was a bad boy. He was a bad boy. Yeah, so, right, that's exactly right. So James Dolan overrode Donnie Walsh and Mike D'Antoni and went out to L.A. and made a deal with Melo at All-Star Weekend. That's how they got him. That's how they got him. See? So that's how that happened. And so, you got a guy that Donnie Walsh really didn't want him. Okay? But that's how they did it. Okay? That's what they did. They were really trying to work with Stack, who was on his last knees anyway. They gave him $100 million just to save face, really. They couldn't get nobody to come to New York. And New York wasn't patient anyway. And Dolan wasn't patient. That's why that happened the way it happened. Really, if you were going to get Melo, you needed Larry Brown, who built around Allen Iverson, because Melo was very similar in terms of his effect on the floor to his team. He wasn't going to make everybody better. You needed 4 defenders around him, really high level defenders. Now they did Woody did good with that, because he had Tyson Chandler, who became Defensive Player of the Year with Melo there. He went and got Shumpert, who as a rookie was playing great defense for the Knicks before he messed his knee up, right? But then you went and got Phil Jackson, and he traded Shumpert, stupid idiot. And then Shumpert ends up winning a chip with LeBron in Cleveland. Man, we've had our problem. That's why I don't hear nobody talk about the Don. Y'all can't do that. Don't come in here talking about him. I've seen too much, man. I've seen Isaiah Thomas, James Dolan, Phil Jackson idiocy, the Fizz goggles. Oh my gosh. Oh no. We've seen too many nightmares. Too many nightmares. Yeah, he let JR and Shump go. I mean, come on, man. Damn. And JR could play some defense, but Shump was a defensive ace. You had him and you had Tyson Chandler, who became Defensive Player of the Year. They were starting to do it. Woodson was starting to do it. But then they let Woodson go because Phil Jackson wanted a triangle. I mean, that's stupid. I don't even know, Malik. I don't even know. Was it KP? Was it KP? I don't even know. Yeah, and Moody. Oh, man, we've seen some nightmares in New York, haven't we? We've seen some freaking nightmares, y'all. For real. Other teams go through their nightmares for like a season or 2, but the Knicks seem to keep that mess going for decades, man. Sure. Well, anyway, we got the Don now. We ain't worried about it no more. We got the Don now. Walt Parent, the Don. What's the capologist name? We got the crew now. Okay, we got a crew now. Okay, so yeah. Oh, 17 wins, 21 wins, 20 wins. Oh, it was driving me crazy, man. Oh, gosh. Yeah, we've been through some rough times, man. Nope. Ewing, and that's the thing. When they had Patrick Ewing, I'd have moved heaven and earth to get a Bernard King type scorer next to him. Anybody, right? They had Bernard King, but then Bernard King, 84, wrecked his knee, 85, wrecked his knee. So he never really got to play with Patrick like that. And then you had Rod Strickland and Mark Jackson with Pat. Oh, I'm like, how could you mess this up? And you know what it was? Again, it was management listening to fans. They were at that time. WFAN had Mad Dog and Mike, whatever his name was, Mike and the Mad Dog. And everybody's listening to these fools, and they couldn't stand the Knicks. I hated them. They would always be negative about Ewing and negative. That was crazy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get somebody, you got a guy that's a daggone bona fide stud in Patrick Ewing, a bona fide stud. A guy you can build a championship around. I do not blame Ewing for not winning a championship. I blame Knicks management. That was Knicks management. There's no way you get Patrick Ewing at age 22 in 1984. You got to get somebody beside him. I would trade picks. I would get a stud next to him. Somebody that could, come in and get 25 a game. Somebody. And there was guys out there. Mark Aguirre, James Worthy, somebody. I'll be getting somebody like that could come in and do business, man. Then you had other guys. There was a guy out of, he played for the Lakers and he played for Miami. He was out of Temple also. He played for Don Chaney in Temple. Small forward. Really good player. Somebody like that. Somebody that can come in and do business with a stud like Ewing, man. And then you had Mark Jackson. You drafted him. Oh, it was sickening. It was sickening watching the Knicks then. It was sickening, man. Then when you come in and you get Isaiah Thompson, he starts power tripping. He's another great talent evaluator. But when they made him president and GM, he went off the deep end and lost his ass. He was just losing his mind. No. We got somebody, the Don. He's our dude. He knows how to build a team. Look what he's done. We got the team ready to go. Yeah, to me, it was Ewing's downfall was Knicks management. That was his problem. If he had a halfway decent management, Ewing would have got us a couple of rings. He really would have. Okay, but I don't know. I'm just saying I would have worked the phones until I got a Clyde, a Drexler, or till I got somebody like a Scottie Pippen, a James Worthy, a Mark Aguirre. I would have worked it until I got somebody like that. Whatever I had to give up to get somebody next to Ewing. I would have kept Mark Jackson as my point guard. He'd have been a Knick for life. I got Mark Jackson. I got Patrick Ewing. Now I'm building around them. So you need a stud guy, somebody that could get you 25 a game. I would have just worked on it. And then from there, you build it with your defensive pieces and all that. Anyway, we just wasted a man's career here in New York with bad management. Really, that's what they did. How long did it take Pat Riley to go to Miami and build a champion? Not that long, did it? It didn't take him that long. Pat Riley went down there when? 99? Like 99? And they win a championship in 04. Okay? What did he do? He went and got Shaq. He went and drafted Dwayne Wade. And then he filled in the pieces, and they won the championship. That's all I'm saying. 04, 06, something like that. But anyway, you're right. Hell meets world. We are back now. That's what I'm saying. That's why you see me being very excited. I'm very down on anybody that's negative on my team because I've been there. I've seen what we had. I've seen some stupidness in the day, and this ain't that crew. The Don know what the hell he's doing. Let's get this done. That's why I trust him with Mike Brown. I'm not sure about Mike Brown, but I trust the Don. So he hired Mike Brown. Okay, we give him a pass. I give him a pass. I'm not going to be messing with Brown this year at all. I'm going to give him a pass. No, I don't think Starks cost us the championship in 94. It's always wrong to blame a role player for losing a championship. If the Knicks were good enough, they should have beat Houston in 6. They shouldn't even went 7. Riley should have went with somebody else and won instead of Starks, seeing that he couldn't shoot. That wasn't on Starks. I do not blame Starks. To me, that's very small to blame John Starks. It wasn't his fault. Did the best he could, just came up short. Is what it is. Okay? You got to stop whining, stop blaming, move on. To me, it's always management, coach. Management, coach. Okay? Yeah, they were up 3-2. They could have won in 6. They should have. Okay? Exactly, John Pettit. Exactly. So we got a squad now. We are at least, right? Can I say conservatively, we're 11 deep, right? The Knicks are, if they keep Brogdon, they were 11 deep. Legit 11 deep. And we still got youngins. Diawara, Dadiet, Pate. We still got youngins. And we're 11 deep. This team is stacked. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Walt Perrin. That's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah, 11 deep. I don't ever remember any Knicks team. Clyde and them was deep. The starting five, they also had Dean Meminger. They had Mike Reardon at one point. Mike Reardon, they traded him to Washington to get Earl of Pearl, but they had Mike Reardon in their first championship. Dean Meminger, John Stallworth. They had a nice squad, man, but they didn't have what this team is. This team is something else. Yeah, Brock Aller running this cap game in this environment. This has got to be the toughest salary environment in the history of the NBA, and he's running it, man. Yuri Ark, no, and I tell you why. The Knicks have on the Kings. Yuri Ark, do you remember that Kings team? I'm asking you just in general. Do you remember the players on that Kings team? If you do, can you please point out 3 top defensive players on the Kings? 3. Give me 3 players they have that can play NBA level defense. See? So they had Keon Ellis, right? And I don't even think they had Davion Mitchell anymore. So they had Keon Ellis and maybe Keegan Murray. Maybe. But that's it. That's it, right? The Knicks have OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, right? Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride, Josh Hart, Gershon Yabusele. That's 6. Ariel Hukporti, Malcolm Brogdon, Landry Shamet. That's 9 players that can play NBA level or above defense. Is that correct? Did I exaggerate that? Right? So you got, Shamet, Brogdon, right? Mitchell Robinson, Yabusele, right? Josh Hart, Deuce McBride, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, right? That's 8. I'm missing somebody. But yeah, all of those guys are potential all defensive players. And he's never had that before. Right? So that's why I'm gonna see what he's gonna. That's why I think he's gonna focus. Yeah, I didn't name Clarkson. I didn't say Clarkson, but I didn't even say Cat. I didn't say Cat. I didn't say Clarkson. I didn't say Brunson. None of them. McCall, Mitch Rob, OG, Deuce, Yabusele, Hart, right? Brogdon, Shamet, right? You got 9 guys that can play stellar defense. All of those guys can play heavy defense, man. All of them. They only had Keon Ellis in Sacramento. That's it. Just Keon Ellis. They had they got Levine. You would never mistake Levine for a defensive player. You had DeRozan, who's all right, but not really. Then you had Sabonis, forget it. De'Aaron Fox, nope. So he had never had the defensive crew that he got here. He's got some defenders here. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't expect him to have the same issues in New York that he had in Sacramento, because we got too many defensive players. 9 guys that can play really good defense. Along the front line, you still got Mitchell Robinson, Yabusele, OG Anunoby. McCall can play the 3 if he needs to. Josh Hart has played 3, 4, and 2. In the backcourt, you got Deuce, you got Shamet, you got Brogdon, right? Again, Hart. You got some defensive players, man. So yeah, and we still got Ariel Hukporti, defensive player, right? I'm not even counting him. Yep. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, so that's why I don't expect him to have the same issues in New York that he had in Sacramento. He's got that's right. I forgot about Diawara. Thank you, Chris Hauger. How can I forget Diawara? So wait, I had 9, and then I forgot Diawara, and I then forgot Ariel Hukporti. 11. The Knicks have legitimately 11 good, solid defensive players, right? A couple of them are better than that, but at least I think I'm picking Diawara to steal minutes this year, Yuri Ark. I'm picking him as the surprise player to steal minutes. Yeah. So I'm picking Diawara to surprise everybody. And not saying he's going to start the season like that, but I think he'll be known as an important piece by the time we get to the trade deadline. I'm looking for Diawara. I think he's good enough to win some minutes. I don't know whose expense is going to be at. I can't tell you that. But I'm very high on Mohamad Diawara. I'm very high on him. Yeah. Well, Diawara is, if you recall, every once in a while, there's a rookie that wins minutes on a championship team, right? Chris Brown, Denver. He was a major piece on that championship run, and he was a rookie. Why? Because of his defense. Because he can play some damn defense, man. That rook was out there guarding, and that's why he played. Didn't make a lot of mistakes, didn't turn the ball over a lot, and played stellar defense. I think Diawara is going to give us the same thing. We'll see. I'm very high on him. And as I mentioned, I'm saying he is just going to be a surprise. I wouldn't expect a rookie on this team to get any minutes. I wouldn't. Derek Lively on Dallas, same thing. Now, Dallas was a little different, but yes, I agree with you, Andrew, because Derek Lively was playing beside what I consider a basketball prodigy in Luka Doncic. You can put Luka Doncic with any half-ass team, and they're going to the playoffs. I'm just trying to tell you. And the fool done messed around and lost weight this summer. I'm trying to tell you, he's a basketball savant. That's Luka. So yeah, you gave Luka, you messed around and gave Luka Derek Lively, and they went to the finals. They took the West. Yeah. Dink Pate is going to be a problem next summer. I'm trying to tell you. Dink Pate is going to be a problem next summer. Oh, yeah, Dallas was stupid to trade Luka. That was one of the dumbest trades since Babe Ruth, man. Really. That was one of the dumbest trades since Babe Ruth. How do you do that? I don't know. How do you trade Babe Ruth? You traded Luka Doncic. Oh, my God. I couldn't believe it. And even Luka was shocked that it happened. He wasn't even expecting it. That was crazy. But, yeah, I consider Luka Doncic a basketball prodigy. The guy was just born to be able to play basketball. Some guys are born, Mozart was born to write music. Chopin was born to play the piano. Luka was born to play basketball. That really? Oh yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you gave Luka a Derek Lively, he could go to the finals. Watch Lakers this year. And I'm not even talking about LeBron. LeBron would play a secondary role, which even at 41, you're going to be tough as hell. But you talking about Luka, right? And you got him coming in shape. Freaking dudes coming in shape. And who else they got? They went, well, okay. Damn, I've never liked DeAndre Ayton. I've never liked him. Never been a fan of DeAndre Ayton. Whenever we talk about trade our boy Mitch Roth for DeAndre, I was very upset about that because I was like, no, you don't want DeAndre Ayton. I don't like him. No. But he's playing with Luka. So that's a difference. He's playing with Luka. So you got Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, Rui, Austin Reeves, and Luka. Yeah, and then Jared Vanderbilt coming off your back with Max Kleber, Gabe Vincent, who was a disappointment last year. He's disappointed. And now you got DeAndre Ayton on top of that with Luka Doncic. I think Lakers are top 4 in the West this year if everybody stays healthy. Yeah, I mean, I think people are stupid. I don't understand the LeBron hate. I mean, I understand if he has some sort of attitude or something. I don't know nothing about the guy, but I do know that LeBron was ready to play in the NBA when he was 16 years old. Everybody knew that. I wasn't even from Akron, Ohio, and I heard that. I mean, he was ready to play in the NBA when he was 16. How many guys can you really say that about? And I mean, really play, So what I'm saying, but maybe it's jealousy. I never understood the hatred for LeBron. I never got it. Yeah, Luka also. No, you're right, Andrew. First time I heard of Luka Doncic, he was 15. And somebody was being interviewed on NBA radio and said the best player in Europe is 15. And I said, 15? Who the hell is this? And they were talking about this kid named Luka Doncic. Later that summer, I think he turned 16, and he played against Kristaps' team. And I watched it because of him. And I was convinced with that one game. I said, oh, I see what they mean. The boy was only 16 then. Scary. Scary. He can do anything with a basketball. He thinks the game on a chess-like level, like LeBron does. And he was born like that. It's freaking just scary. Scary. Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, Luka I always found him to be a prodigy to me. I've always thought, I could not believe that he didn't get drafted #1 overall. And I could not believe that Atlanta drafted him and traded him. Even the Leprechaun is good, but you traded Luka? What the hell? Oh, the Lakers got Marcus Smart? Well, I don't see that as any big deal. Smart been getting hurt a lot. Smart might be at the end of his rope. So I don't know. But Austin Reeves is in his prime. Rui Hachimura is in his prime. Jared Vanderbilt's in his prime. Okay. You gave Luka too much. You didn't already messed around. You gave Luka too much. Okay. You gave him too much. And if he stays healthy and slim and trim like he is, and I said that when he came in the league, I said his biggest problem, the guy that could stop him, is Luka with the fork. The fork was going to be his biggest problem. He had the fat gene. Still got the fat gene. But now he's gotten mature enough. And I think Luka's got a chip on his shoulder because of Dallas. So he done decided, oh, y'all going to trade me? Me? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm saying I'm not sleeping on Luka. I think the Lakers, if they stay healthy, can be top 4 or top 3 in the West. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. I don't doubt that at all. No. They're going to be rough. Now, let me not front. They can't beat the Knicks. They can't beat the Knicks. Luka's great. They can't beat the Knicks. Did he actually say he was better than MJ though, or did he imply he can rock with MJ? I wouldn't say, I wouldn't mess with LeBron like that. I don't care what he says. He's a great player. I mean, he's a great player. A player that I would pay money to go watch see. Great player, man. That's just it. Period. Great player, man. He's got 4 rings. Okay, MJ's got 7. Okay. I give MJ the edge there. I do. But LeBron got 4 rings with 3 different teams. I mean, come on, man. He's a great player. And he is one of the greatest of all time. He is. How many players got 4 rings with 3 teams? Really? How many players have 4 rings with 3 teams? Now, Magic got 5 rings, all with the Lakers. Cool. Jordan got 7, all with 7, right? Or 6, all with Chicago. Cool, right? But LeBron got 4 rings with 3 different teams. Oh, you saying the bubble? Okay. But that's all I'm saying. He got 4 rings with 3 different teams. Okay. Even if you take away the bubble, he got 3 rings with 2 different teams. Yeah, I don't care about it, though. I don't. I don't care if he's better, they think he's better or worse. I just don't understand the hate, man. It's like people, like he raped somebody's sister the way they act about LeBron. Oh, no, man. They was competing, so if they was competing, it counts. I hear you. It was a shortened season for sure. But they didn't control COVID. So they was competing. Everybody had a chance to win. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. And then when it's over, everybody's glowing over it. But yeah, I see greatness with LeBron from the start. I wish he was a Knick. I honestly don't think LeBron had the temperament to deal with New York. That's why he never came here. And the management did suck. And he recognized it sucked. So, and so he's looking at Miami with Pat Riley down there. And Pat Riley got a whole bunch of rings and he wants a ring. I can understand why he did that. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. Well, let me get going, man. Always nice hanging out with y'all. Always top notch with top notch fans. We finally got our channel kind of what we want, huh? We got the people we want. Yeah, but yeah, it was all good. Andrew, nice to see you. Hill Meets World. Guilford McCormick, Malik Shabazz, Andrew. Who else we got? Juice Productions. Who else we got here? Yuri Ark, Hill Meets World, Coach Hauser, Edward Walker, my man, 2 Shots was in here. Council King was in here. Yuri, that's it, Yuri, right? I'm missing some people. But yeah, nice to see all y'all again, man. And we all got a good participation here. It was good today. Always good, man. Always good. Let's see what pops off this week. I don't know if they're going to make a move this week unless they get blown away by a trade. But I'm thinking Tyler Kolek stays until right before season starts. Because they got to make final decisions before the season starts. So when they get ready, Kubar Dobbins, yeah, John Pettit, there you go. When they get ready to make their final roster, I think you're going to see a trade. Because they're going to want to keep Brogdon unless he's hurt. They're going to want to keep Brogdon. Yeah, I'm kind of glad, John Pettit. The third rail was designed to get rid of assholes. And so I think we're asshole free. I think we are. I think we asshole free. It's like being cancer free. I think we're cancer free. We done cut out all the bad seed and we're cancer free now. It's not spreading. So anyway, yeah, I'm thinking right before, when do they have to make final roster moves? I think it's before the last preseason game. Isn't that right? So like when they get the last preseason game, they got to have made their final roster cuts. So whenever they get ready to play the last preseason game is going to be against Charlotte. So I think before they play Charlotte, the moves will be made. You'll find out. The moves will be made. Right? Yeah, I didn't even make that call this week about them T-shirts, man. I need to get back on them. But I've been kind of preoccupied. My mom's had a hospital incident, so I had to deal with that. This is why I was late today. I had to make sure she was okay. But yeah. Yeah, we had some good Knicks discussions in here. Once we get rid of third rail people, I think when we got some peace in here and nobody's in here reading the X and the Brian Windbag and all the NBA Central tea leads, I think we're pretty good, right? I think we get all right. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. So yeah, I'm expecting before the Charlotte game, the Knicks will make their final moves. You'll see the trade, you'll see the signings, everything will get done. And at that point. So let's see. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Be safe, please. There's some craziness going out. Y'all seen that, right? Miss Stevenson, thank you. Yes, mom is good for now. We got to monitor her. I got to take her to get an MRI on Wednesday. So praying about that. Yes, true good for McCormick. It's so terrible. Anyway, please be safe out there. There's some nuts running the road. Be safe. Stay with your family. Hope everybody in your family is good and healthy and safe. Shalom, Knicks Nation.